This is your daily briefing. You're most welcome to it. Of course, you are a solitary point from our visit to jellied eel world. But what cannot speak cannot lie, which is a convoluted way of saying Spurs are a better place this season. If you look at the table, losing less, winning more, dropping fewer points, but goodness me, we're a tough watch. I made the case on my Substack channel this morning, which, instantly, thank you very much for asking, it's going swimmingly well. Over 3,500 subscribers, tucking into the fabulous ad-free content. Conte ball is simply Mourinho ball, but without your prejudices. Yeah, you. I'm talking about you. We've covered the argument already that Conte doesn't need creative midfielders because he uses wing-backs, by pointing out that Emerson Royal isn't a very good wing-back and Sergio Reguilón has in fact been loaned out to another side, playing in another country. And previously I've made the case for James Maddison, but for the purposes of this particular exercise, I'd like to give you a fresher target and a slight switch, because this guy is listed, he's down on the books as a defensive midfielder, a DMF, and you know, Glenn Hoddle was asked to name the man of the match, and I think the fatigue had got to it. We'd been watching us huff and puff and get nowhere for an hour and a half, and he picked Antonio, but the man of the moment, the man by country mile, was Declan Rice. Absolutely sensational. Plenty of the ball, was imperious with it, 93% passing accuracy, and this is the killer. This is upon which I'm laying my hat, if you like. But 15 out of 16 attempted attacking third passes. Now they're that's all part of that. Well, I know some of you don't like numbers, don't like stats, but this is the construction element that you have to go through, the process, the part of the picture, in order to attack the other goal, unless you want to play hoofball, and we're not Watford and it's not 1980. So, you know, 94% passing accuracy from a defensive midfielder attacking third passes. Yes, please. Busier than anybody else on the park. Only our man Pierre-Emile Højbjerg came close. He was next closest, but the Viking just managed to make 12 passes in the same space. And he isn't that guy. He can put the odd nice through ball in, but he didn't. He just made passes in that space. There was nothing wow, nothing jaw-dropping. Just to give you some perspective on who was in the middle of the park, we have to look at Bissouma. Now, I've got to say to you, he was largely indifferent. Yes, I did champion him being selected, but I, of course, didn't champion him to make a stupid foul and earn himself a yellow card. I think psychologically that got to him, it undermined him, and he didn't kick back into gear until into the second half. But do we then say, holding the one thought in our head, yeah, but he was rubbish, so just get Bentancur? Well, I don't know. And that's me. Like I said to you, every time I do this, I'm on the corner selling doubt. I don't know, okay? I'm not some fervent bigot who knows the answer to everything. I suspect we've seen enough of Bentancur for the moment. I would be tempted to see if Bissouma could behave himself like a fully fledged human being and not throw the ball away in a huff and puff moment, and then see what he's capable of. But I'm hands up, on behalf of the Bissouma fan club, West Ham, total fist of it, total mess. So Spurs in the middle of the park. There's only one conclusion that can be reached, and that is that we are found to be wanting. Declan Rice, I've got to throw this in as well, because he sweeps as he cleans. Recovered the ball 8 times, and on 3 occasions that was in the Tottenham half. Closest Spurs got to that was Ben Davies, who is a left back. For those of you watching in black and white, made 6 recoveries, but totally different area of the park, and all the stuff there, as I said, it's all part of that construction of the attack. We've been told by the toxic positive club that we've never had it so good. It was a incredible window, seminal window. Conte's happy, couldn't be happier. But the trouble is, that's a myth. It's a total myth, and it's peddled by the same people that tell you that Nuno bought X player, tell you that Mourinho bought this, and the same tedious clowns that are coming out with, well, if Conte wants him, I want him too. You don't know what you're talking about. Perhaps remove yourself from the field of player discussion and let people who know what they're talking about come through. Give us some fresh thoughts, some fresh ideas for people who are coherent. The new blood consists of players that Conte has given minimal minutes to. So he doesn't. This sounds like very happy territory to me. He's not said it. I just said it. He's not said it. But it sounds to me like very happy territory that we're in. And the deadwood that's gone, that's coming back like a boomerang, baby. Most of those have been loaned. And most of them, I suspect, based upon how they played for Tottenham, and indeed how they played before they came to Tottenham, haven't got it in them to be embraced and offered big deals, permanent deals, with the sides that they've gone to. I don't know. I can't predict the future. But I suspect that will be the case, and they'll be coming back like boomerangs. So what we've got is a situation where, you know, this is Levy world. This is Daniel Levy world. Jam tomorrow. I'd like you to meet our new friend. Sort it out tomorrow. Recipe for success. So what would you do differently then? You're all moaning. I mean, we're doing really well. We're winning most of our games. We've got lots of points. You just said what cannot speak, cannot lie. But you're so dissatisfied. Well, look, I'm just pointing out what's happening. This is a commentary. You know, I mean, I'm the guy that didn't want to get rid of Mourinho. And we're watching Mourinho ball, but it's been rebranded. It's Conte ball. So what would we have done differently? Well, apparently, for the last X amount of weeks, we've been struggling to get deals done. That's been in the press everywhere. So maybe we should have spent more money. Oh, but we can't compete. We can't compete. You're a lunatic. You should go and support Chelsea. You should go and support City. There's no such thing as financial fair play. All those other people are just going mad spending money. I draw your attention to an article in the Mail Online a good few weeks back now, which was roundly kind of sort of poo-pooed, cold water poured on it by a lot of people, and I think probably including me. I don't remember everything all right. But the idea that Spurs could, in theory, legitimately tap into a financial fair play friendly, did I say that? Did my teeth fall out? Financial fair play friendly reserve of some 400 million. Now, just pause for the lunatics to start throwing stuff at their screens and their handheld devices. I'm not suggesting we spend 400 million. But what I am suggesting is we do the job properly. So if there's something that is really worth getting, and we act with a sense of control, opposed to a child that keeps on ordering ice cream and chocolate until they vomit and then pass out. Yeah, so we act with some maturity and a sense of control. If we see a player like Maddison or Rice, or there's lots of them out there. If you want me to go through all the indexes of these players that do well in the construction of attacking play, that's no problem at all. I'll set up something so you can pay me, but I'm telling you now, there's a long list of names. So it's not like, well, Rice doesn't want to leave so-and-so and Maddison doesn't want to leave so-and-so. That means you can't suggest anybody. There's plenty of them. There's not hundreds, but there are dozens. And that's including the Premier League and other countries. So don't get your knickers in a twist predicting with absolute certainty, throwing those things at me, that it can't happen because those two players aren't available. That's absolute nonsense. So if you've got 400 million sitting there and you've got some self-control and some player that comes along that's pretty good, you go out and get them. But at the moment we've got nobody, absolutely nothing. And Spurs in the midfield, we are wanting. That's what we are wanting. We need to dismiss the tedious and woefully inaccurate mantra that is peddled by these lunatics, these unhinged lunatics, that we can't compete. There's plenty of money. Spurs are accumulating points quite nicely, but the football in the main is shocking. And I don't mean boring, I mean shocking. It's not worth the price of admission. That's the reality. The fact is that we're sitting pretty, and if you look at the numbers, you look at everything else in isolation of the games, yeah, because winning's the metric. Don't forget, I'm the guy that coined that phrase, well, you know, in these parts. We're doing pretty well. We're on target for a top four finish. I think that the Premier League, that this division is packed full of sides that aren't particularly better than us, many of whom are notably worse. And therefore, on that basis, we will be okay. Top four is definitely in our sights. But here's the killer. Here's the kick. But as far as Champions League is concerned, yeah, we've got a slightly softer group. But I think that group's going to be tougher than any of our Premier League games. I'm telling you now. And it's willfully blind optimism that suggests that this squad, this Spurs squad, is in a position to progress in that tournament. So I don't think we're going to be in Europe for very long. You tell me. Good luck. Keep it Tottenham.